Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be going over the staff behind Boruto episode 217. If you guys are not necessarily familiar with this is pretty much where I name everybody that's working on this episode, or not necessarily everybody, but a good idea of who exactly is working on this episode, so you guys can get an idea of how it's going to look. If you guys haven't necessarily been following along with the series, Anime Blue tweets out the staff behind all the episodes, damn near all the episodes. He has over 100 episodes in this thread, and even up to Boruto episode 219. So if you guys do want to get a jump head start, but let's get into the actual staff. Every single time when I do something like this, I always say the first thing that you guys need to look at has to be the studio. The studio, in my personal opinion, is definitely what sets the foundation, and the studio for this one is going to be Studio Period. Again, if you guys have been following me throughout the series, you guys would know that Studio Period is the GOAT. They would be on the quote-unquote God Squad if I'd ever see a God Squad. This might be a God Squad, I have absolutely no idea yet, but they would be the GOATs. They'd be on the God Squad. They were behind Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki. So this episode right here, and everybody pretty much regards this episode as like the best episode, or at least the best looking episode of Boruto thus far. I know the last couple of episodes are giving it a run for its money, but this is definitely still up there. Another one is Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen. Obviously this right here was also another one. I think people are naming this either the second or the third. They did other multiple huge episodes, for example Kawaki versus Gaara. People say that right there was animated the best, and also they were behind the last episode as well, Boruto episode 216. But now they're going to be doing it solo, which definitely, in my personal opinion, is even better than them being on an episode with Jiwoo Animations. No hate to Jiwoo, they're great, they're great. But Period is the GOATs, put it like that. But regardless, that's the studio. Now let's get into the actual staff. Now the director / storyboard is going to be by Fukui Nozomi. Nozomi is definitely a decent director. A very good episode that you guys could pretty much look towards would probably be Boruto episode 186. That right there specifically is when Boruto fought against Ao. This episode definitely overperformed a lot of people's expectations, especially Boruto in this particular scene. It was absolutely crazy. So this person being on Boruto episode 217 is definitely a good thing. I mean, like, just look at this, man. It looks amazing. Now the next one is going to be, let's see, Retsu Okwara. Okay, I automatically know exactly what Retsu Okwara is, and name familiarity and things like this is always a very good thing. Retsu Okwara been behind multiple huge episodes like 175. If you guys don't necessarily recall what that was, this right here is, I think, Team 7 versus Deepa rematch actually, and a lot of people to this day call this like the best anime only episode thus far. Like, people were even putting this up there with Boruto episode 65 and actually saying it was better, mainly because it was the new generation actually fighting against Deepa. I'm personally not necessarily going to go that far, but this right here was definitely an elite episode. Not only that, Retsu Okwara also did Boruto episode 208. This right here was also an elite episode. This right here was when Isshiki actually came out. This episode right here looked absolutely amazing. Everybody loved this episode. This guy Retsu Okwara being behind an episode like this is definitely a very good thing as well. Again, when we talk about God Squads and stuff like that, Retsu Okwara would definitely be on a quote-unquote God Squad. So him being on something like this is definitely very good. The next animation director is going to be Chiyuki Tanaka. Now Chiyuki Tanaka is a very interesting name, especially for an episode like this, mainly because Chiyuki Tanaka isn't necessarily behind much, I'd say elitely animated episodes, and because Studio Period is behind this, we know the animation is going to be elite. So I would definitely want to see what she brings to the table. I think one of the most memorable episodes that she was actually on was Boruto episode 151, and I keep on forgetting this guy's name, but it was the leader of the Mujina bandits, and Boruto was fighting against him, and of course his karma seal activated for like one of the first times. There honestly isn't necessarily a good video on YouTube to play of something like this, but just trust me, this episode was definitely fire. But again, in regards to episodes like this, like when we're talking about Boruto episode 65, Boruto episode 208, where it's like Naruto and Sasuke versus some amazing character, or like an extremely well animated fight, and Chiyuki Tanaka hasn't necessarily been on episodes like that, so I definitely do want to see exactly what she brings to the table in an episode like this, because obviously this right here is supposed to look absolutely amazing. Now the next one is going to be Yako Saito. Now Saito is similar to Chiyuki. I think one of the last episodes that Saito was on was Boruto episode 206. Now I definitely do want to point out, this episode right here was definitely a high stakes episode. Again, by no means was the animation in this episode bad or anything like that, but it just wasn't like elite. But just because of the sheer fact that Saito has been on big episodes before, it gives me a lot of confidence going into an episode like this. Now the next one, the screenplay is going to be by Masaya Honda. Masaya Honda is extremely familiar. The reason why Masaya Honda is extremely familiar is because Masaya did the last episode, Boruto episode 216. I think needless to say, that episode right there specifically was absolutely amazing. I mean, of course, I hope we get that level in this particular episode as well. And of course, I've been saying this for a very long time. A lot of people are going to be looking for episode 217 to potentially even surpass episode 216. So if it's going to be somebody that can do that, it would possibly be Masai Honda. Basically, that person thinking to themselves that they need to step it up. But this right here looks like a very good team. It looks like a very, very good team. I don't necessarily see any slouches in this group. I was kind of questioning Masai Honda in the last episode, which is why I kind of left it off as like a borderline dream team. And obviously, you know, leaving it off as borderline dream team, now looking back at it, because Masai Honda did that episode, I'm now gonna deem this Boruto episode 216 a dream team, and I'm going to deem Boruto episode 217 as well. And this right here has heavy influence from Fukui, Retsu Okwara, and Periot being the sole studio. I'm going to deem this a dream team. This right here is a dream team. I didn't necessarily expect to be disappointed by the staff behind it, and Lord knows I was not. I'm super happy for the staff behind it, and I definitely do want to see Chiyuki Tanaka and Naoyuki Saito get some very good episodes under their belts. But let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below, and how do you guys think it will look. By the way, real quick, I just have to do this, bro, because we kind of already seen how the episode looks. Like, the preview looked amazing. Like, Chiefs, please look alive, dog. I think at the last second we kind of really get to see a little bit of animation, but it's not necessarily going to be that crazy. It's just like 2.5 scenes. Like, yeah, right, like right here, we are like, the animation already looks good. By the way, shout out to my video being on the next requested video. But let me know what you guys think about the animation staff in the comment section below. Again, I'm super happy for it. I'm going to deem it a dream team. But it's been your boy Baara, and we out.
It's a knife.